everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. If it's the first time here, my name is Francesca and I love building in The Sims. Here on my channel I post Sims 4 speed build videos, so in today's video I'm going to be building a Southeastern Asian family home in the world of Tomarang, which is the world that we've got with the new expansion pack The Sims 4 for Rent, which came out exactly a week ago. I'm saying a week ago because today for me is Thursday and the new pack came out last Thursday, so it's exactly a week ago. Unfortunately, this pack is a little bit cursed for me because on Thursday when the pack came out, I was trying to download the pack and it wasn't working because the EA app was down. I think that too many people were trying to download the pack at the same time, so the EA app is kind of fragile and was down. And then I couldn't download this pack even on Friday because on Friday I woke up sick. I had to go to work anyway, but then when I came back home, I went back to sleep. I slept the entire day, and then in the evening, I had a bowl of ramen, which was really nourishing, really comforting. I felt better straight away. I love ramen, especially when I'm sick, because the broth makes me feel so much better. It's really nourishing, so I love ramen. But yeah, anyway, and then on Saturday I was still feeling a little bit sick and I wasn't able to download the pack because I had a terrible headache and I wasn't really able to look at the screen because yeah, the headache was really strong. And then on Sunday I'm feeling a little bit better, so I tried to do a little bit of troubleshooting. Basically, I tried to download the the new expansion pack, but unfortunately it wasn't working because the mods that I had installed in my game were interfering with the downloading of the new expansion pack. So I had to delete all the mods and download the pack and then install all the mods back again into my game. Fortunately, I just have two mods. One is the tool mod and the other one is the better build by mod, which I'm gonna link both in the description box below in case you want to download them. And for me, they're essential because they really help me to build in The Sims, but they were, clashing with the new expansion pack, so I had to delete them and install them back again into my game. And then I was able to play with the new expansion pack, but I started building on Monday, so I started building kind of late. And I'm saying late not because I have a deadline, but because I wanted to have this house out on my channel as soon as possible. Basically, whenever there is a new pack, especially expansion pack, I try to build kind of fast because I want the house or whatever I'm building up on my channel as soon as possible. I don't know why, it's my thing, but yeah, that's what I was trying to do. But unfortunately I started building kind of late because I couldn't build sooner because I was sick, and then yeah, the pack wasn't working, so I started building on Monday. And in the beginning I didn't want to build a family home, but I wanted to build Singapore inspired townhouses because basically every time I was going on Pinterest and researching for Southeastern Asian inspired homes, basically everything that was coming up was just Singapore townhouses. So I was like, okay, they look beautiful and I want to build them in The Sims. But every time that I was trying to build them in The Sims, they weren't looking so good as they do in real life. I wasn't able to do them justice. So I was like, okay, they don't look really good in The Sims. They don't translate well in The Sims for some reason. I know that it's my problem. Probably there are other creators who did Singapore-inspired townhouses and they look amazing, and I am the problem. I don't know how to make them work in The Sims, but as I said, I wasn't doing them justice because they weren't looking so good, and in real life they look amazing. They actually made me want to visit Singapore one day. But yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna scrap this idea of building townhouses, also because they require so much time and I was already kind of late, and then I had all those townhouses furnished and I was like, okay, this is not gonna work. I have to build something much smaller than that, and that's why I basically decided to build on this 20 by 20 law in the not kind of metropolitan area of the world, but in the area which is more kind of into the woods, and it's basically closer to the sea. I love the lighting on this lot. I love the fact that you can see the sea. I really like it here, so I'm really proud with the way this building turned out. I also wish that this lot was a little bit more kind of scooted in the back, because I wanted to kind of line up with the deck that's in the back. I don't know if you could see the deck, but there's a deck in the back where the sea is, and I was thinking that maybe this family could have a boat. Obviously I didn't place down a boat because I didn't have space in the backyard. Actually, there isn't a proper backyard because in the back I don't have space, so I didn't do a backyard. There's a balcony, there's a back porch, but there isn't like a full backyard. But as I said, I wanted this lot to be a little bit more scooted backwards because I wanted this lot to be closer to that deck that you could see probably before, because it's so pretty, and I wanted to place down like a boat and things like that, but like you could do in the world of Sulani, where the lots are more like next to the sea. But I couldn't do that. But I really like it here. I really like this lot, even though it's really small, and normally I don't build on small lots. For some reason I always tend to go for much bigger lot, so basically 40 by 30, 30 by 30. I think I've never built on a 20 by 20 lot, or even 30 by 20. I think that's, yeah, I never built that on that lot. But this time I wanted to build something smaller because, as I said, I didn't have much time, so I had to kind of go for something smaller. But I'm really happy with the way this house turned out. This house ends up having 2 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Actually, it's 2.5 bathrooms, because 1 bathroom is kind of a more of a laundry, so it's not really a bathroom, the one that's on the first floor, and then the other 2 bathrooms are on the second floor. This house also has a kitchen and a living room and a separate dining room. So I don't know if I mentioned this, because basically I recorded this voiceover twice already, because the first time, halfway through the voiceover, I had to cough. And I was like, no, you can't cough right now, otherwise the voiceover is ruined. And I was like, okay, I have to hold it, I have to hold it. And then at some point I couldn't hold it anymore, so I had to cough, and the entire voiceover was ruined, so I had to scrap it. So I'm recording the voiceover again. And I don't know if I said this, but I was looking at a picture that I found on Pinterest. So I'm gonna find the picture and pop it on the screen right now. So as you can see, I was really kind of trying to replicate the picture that I found, just because I had no idea what I wanted to go for, or how a Southeastern Asian home looked like. Because, as I said, I don't know if I said this, but I've never been, you probably imagine, but I've never been to those countries in Southeastern Asia, so I don't know how the houses look there, and I had no clue what to go for. So I was looking on Pinterest for inspiration, and when I found that picture, I was like, that house looks so pretty. I want to try to replicate it in The Sims. And I don't think it's a real life house, but yeah, the picture looked really pretty, so I was like, I want to go for that. So I'm gonna try to replicate that house in The Sims. Obviously it doesn't look the same, because some things you can't do in The Sims, but I think that I kind of did a good job. I'm really proud with the way this building turned out, also because it's so out of my comfort zone that I kind of struggled a little bit, but in the end I pushed through, and I think the result is kind of good. But you guys let me know. Also, let me know if there is something that I did wrong, because obviously I don't know if there are some rules, or especially with the floor plan, I didn't know how to make the floor plan work, because in the beginning I was looking on Pinterest to see if I could find a floor plan from a house that, basically this house is a Thai house, because the description under the picture that I found, it says Thai house, so I think that this style is a style of a house that you could find probably in Thailand. So I was trying to look at Thai house floor plans, but I couldn't find anything. So I was just kind of, you know, I basically what I said was like, I'm gonna make it work my own way, even though it might not be realistic, because obviously I don't know how a floor plan of a Thai house looks like. I don't know if it's different from like a normal floor plan. I don't know anything, so please excuse my ignorance. But yeah, so the floor plan was a little bit of a struggle, but in the end I made it work, and I'm sorry if it's not realistic. You are free to let me know in the comments below if I did some mistakes. And so next time I'm going to build a Southeastern Asian inspired home, I'm going to keep your comments in mind and try to do better. But this was my first time, and I hope that I did well. Also, as you can see, the main structure of the build has already come together, and now I'm working on the floor plan, not the floor plan. I'm working on the landscaping. Unfortunately, I didn't include the footage of me doing the floor plan as always, because it took me so long, even though this house is not big, but it took me really long to figure out. So I decided to not include the footage of me doing the floor plan. But yeah, as you can see right now, I'm kind of finishing the working on the landscaping. So the landscaping of this particular lot is really like different from the landscaping that I would normally do for my like suburban homes, of course, because obviously it's kind of more not looking like a suburban landscaping, but suburban home landscaping. But I decided to use a lot of the plants and bushes and trees from the new pack, because I really wanted this lot to blend in with the environment. So I used them, and I also used some flowers from Island Living, because I find that Island Living, the new pack, and Snow Escape really go well together for some reason, because some of the landscaping plants and flowers from Island Living are also in the world of Tomarang. So it was really good because I could use some of the flowers from Island Living, and I think they look so good on this lot. And then I also decided to have a fountain in the front, which kind of looks like a pond, but I thought it looked really good there with all the flowers. And then in the front I also placed down a bike and then a mailbox from the new pack. I also used the stones from the base game to create a couple of pathways on each side of the lot, just because I really like to do that every time I do that, you know that. But yeah, and then in the back, as you could see before, the back is really kind of squished, but in the back I used the gate from the new pack and the fence from the new pack, and we have like a closed off area where I'm gonna place down later some planters and some plants, and that's pretty much it. I also want to talk about what I did on one side of this house. So I don't know if you can remember the picture that I showed you before, but on one side it's got like a porch, but the porch had some details. I don't know what they are, and to try to mimic those details in The Sims, I decided to use the object. It's like a wooden object from a Snowy Escape, and basically I drew a wall and I placed down that object on each wall 3 times, so one on top of another basically. And then I used spandrels and columns from Snowy Escape as well to kind of try to replicate that texture and that thing that I don't know what it is, but if you remember the picture, you know what I'm talking about. So on one side there's like a porch, and the porch had some details, wooden details, and I tried to replicate them using the Snowy Escape object and the spandrels. And also I decided to use the Island Living windows because they're kind of open, they look like shutters almost, so I decided to use them to also kind of recreate that texture, and it almost looks like we've got some sliding door that you can maybe close the porch. I don't know. I was trying to replicate what I was seeing in the picture. But anyway, as you can see, I've now moved on onto the inside of the house. I was furnishing the entryway and a little hallway. So basically in the entryway, we have the staircase and we have the table with a mirror from the new pack, which is really cute. I placed down an armchair, I placed down a mirror, and also I had like a little nook I didn't know what to do with that nook, so I decided to place down the closet from Get Together. Whenever I had a two-tile nook, even like in the bedrooms or whatever, I always use the closet from Get Together because I think that fits perfectly. And then, as you could see before, I was furnishing the living room, and the living room is one of my favorite rooms because it's really bright. We got that big window from Island Living. So in the living room, I decided to go for the two new couches that we've got with the new expansion pack. I love the style of those couches. I really like the fact that this expansion pack brings a new style, kind of a new style, which is so refreshing because building with furniture which is like a different style from the usual furniture that we use is really refreshing and it's really fun. So yeah, in the living room I placed down also the coffee table from the new pack and the rug as well. I also used the rug in the entryway, the rug from the new pack I mean, and I love the new rug. Basically we've got two new rugs. I love them both. I love the swatches, they're so nice. I really like them. And I also decided to create a little table console for the TV using the new counter. So we've got a new kitchen set, we've got a new counter and a new cabinet. However, we didn't get a new stove or a new fridge, so I decided to place down the fridge and stove from the Growing Together expansion pack because I thought that in that black swatch they look really good with the new counters. And then I also decided to place down the sink from the Home Chef Hustle stuff bag. Since we've got that stuff bag, I've been using that sink a lot. I love the way it looks. And then also I decided to place down the cutting board, which is I think a live edit object from the new pack, but I really like the way it looked, so I decided to place that down. And then I'm also placing down like an island in the middle of the kitchen because I had a lot of like empty space, so I placed down an island, and on the island I'm placing down like the book, not the book, it's not a book, it's a cooking book from the Home Chef Hustle. I really like that little detail because it makes the house, the room, look a little bit more lived in. It's a realistic touch which I love. And then I also placed down the new flower, it's like a vase with a flower. And then also I just remembered that I said before that in the living room I placed down the new coffee table from the new pack. However, I just remembered that I didn't place that down. I wanted to place down the new coffee table, but I thought that it was a little bit too much because the coffee table, kind of like the print that's on the, it's not a print, it's like the pattern. Well, the coffee table looks like the side table that I placed down between the two couches. So it was like, it's a little bit too much. I kind of want to break a little bit that style. So I decided to go for a coffee table from Island Living. So I was thinking that I placed down that coffee table, but I didn't. But yeah, anyway, as you can see, I've now moved on onto kind of the porches that are outside, and there are two porches outside. One is in the back and this one is kind of more on the side, but it's basically where the kitchen is. So there's a door in the kitchen which leads you onto this porch, and that porch is basically where I placed down the grill, the new grill, and a dining table with some chairs from Island Living. And then also on one side of that porch I decided to place down some rugs with the new pillow because basically I was looking at some pictures that I found on Pinterest of Southeastern Asian homes, and I saw that a lot of houses on the inside have basically a rug with that pillow on it. I don't know what the function of that is. I'm assuming it's for like, not even for meditation. I was in the beginning thinking that it was for meditation, but it's not for meditation. I think maybe you just kind of sit down and you have a little chat with your family members, or you drink a little bit of tea or things like that. I'm not sure what the function of it is, but I decided to do that because I wanted to make this house as realistic as possible. So I saw the little detail on a picture and I decided to try to replicate it. I'm sorry if it's not really realistic in real life, but I decided to do that because I was thinking that, you know, I saw that and maybe I could try to do the same in The Sims. And yeah, anyway, and beside that, I think that's pretty much it, because I'm also gonna place down the meditation stools on the balcony upstairs, but those are the meditation stools from the Spa Day game pack, so they're actually working. The thing that I did on the porch isn't working, it's just pretending. But yeah, anyway, as you can see, I'm now doing the dining room. So the dining room is separated from the kitchen and from the living room, and in the dining room I placed down the new table with the new chairs. There's also a lot of windows in the dining room, I like that. And I also decided to go for the new curtains. I didn't mention this before, but I love the new curtains. Whenever we get curtains which have like the rod as well and we can kind of customize them, I love this a lot. Also forgot to mention that basically I forgot the basket that I wanted to place down. So there's this basket, it's a fruit basket it's a bonus item unfortunately, but I really like it, and basically I wanted to place that down. I had it in my head the entire time and I kind of forgot. I wanted to place that down on the porch, but I forgot. Anyway, as you could see in the dining room, basically I decided to place down that wooden object from Snowy Escape, and I decided to do that on one wall because I don't know if you could see when I started furnishing this room, but the railing of the staircase was clipping into that wall. So I hate that, you know, I really hate when the railing clips and you can see it. So to cover it, I decided to use the Snowy Escape object that I don't know the name of it. I also used that on one of the porches to kind of create that little area that I was mentioning at the beginning of the video. So I decided to kind of cover the entire wall with this object, and on top of it, I placed down the shelf from the new pack, which is really cute. I really like the new shelf that we've got. It's got a lot of clutter on it, and I also added some books and some plates on the shelves just because to kind of fill it up a little bit more. And that's pretty much it. I also decided to go for the new rug, but this time I used a different rug because you could see that the rug that I used in the living room and in the entryway is kind of different. It's like a different rug, but it's still new. It's got leaves on it, and then this one, it's like a different pattern, but I really like it. And I also decided to overlap two rugs, so I placed down the new rug, and then on top of it I placed down another rug which is rounded, but I can't remember from which pack it is. I think Cats and Dogs if I'm not mistaken, or maybe Laundry Day. But anyway, as you can see, I've now moved on onto the second floor, and I'm now furnishing kind of this stair landing, the hallway. And as you could see in that room, there was another nook, which is kind of the same nook that I had downstairs where the entryway is. And in that nook, I decided to place down the bookcases from the book nook kit because they just fit perfectly there. So I decided to have them there. And then I also placed down the new couch again in a different swatch this time, I think, or maybe in the same swatch, I can't remember. But yeah, I placed that down, and then I placed down a side table with some clutter on it, a plant, and I also used the new frames because we've got like this new kind of painting thing which has got like a lot of frames, and I really like that, so I used that above the staircase. And now, as you can see, I'm furnishing the teen's bedroom. So basically, when I was furnishing this house, I didn't have in mind a family because I was just basically focusing on using the new objects, using the new furniture. I just wanted to use all the new stuff that we've got, and I wasn't really thinking about what family, like the type of family that was living here. So it was just kind of furnishing basically. So I used the new wallpaper in that kind of yellow swatch, and basically when I was looking through the beds, I saw this bed from high school years, and I was like, this bed is gonna go so well with the new wallpaper. So I decided to use that bed, and then since I used that bed, I was like, do you know what, I'm gonna make this room for a teen, even though downstairs I placed down a backpack which is kind of a kid backpack, but When I was finishing the room downstairs, the entryway where I placed down the backpack, I didn't know that I wanted to have a teenager living in this house because I wasn't finishing the upstairs yet. So yeah, I placed that down in the entryway, but you could still delete it if you wanted to, even though the teenager can still maybe use that backpack. Like they're going to school and they grab that backpack. Like even if it's a kid backpack, that doesn't mean that a teenager can't use it. Maybe this teenager is a little bit more childish and they like, you know, funny backpack. I don't know. But yeah, as you can see, this bedroom is really bright because of that wallpaper. It's also got a lot of windows, and I think this is the only room that's got that kind of open window from the new pack. It's got basically, it's not a open window, it's like a shutter that's kind of left open, and I really like it. And then I decided to place down the desk also from the high school years expansion pack, which I think goes really well with the chest of drawers from the new pack. The two wood colors kind of match. And yeah, I decided to go for that. And then I also placed down the new rug, but this time in a different swatch. I decided to go for this swatch, which has got like a lot of yellow and a lot of kind of colors on it. And then I decided also to have a very fancy computer in that room for some reason, and also a TV, because I was thinking that the chest of drawers that I placed down was right in front of the bed. So I was thinking that maybe this teenager, when she's, you know, on the bed laying down, or maybe she's kind of reading, she also wants the TV on, she might be watching the TV as well. So I decided to have that on the chest of drawers. And then I also placed down a bookcase from, I think, high school years as well. And then I placed down some posters and things like that. I really love the way that room turned out because, as I said, is really bright, is colorful. And then as you can see, I've now moved on and I'm now furnishing the parents' bedroom. So this bedroom was a little bit of a struggle because it's really big. I don't know if you could see how big it is, but it's really big, trust me. I didn't know what to do, so it took me a lot of attempts. But in the end, I'm happy with the way this room turned out. So of course, I had to go for the new bed because that bed is so pretty, is beautiful. I love it. And I also placed down the chest of drawers, again, the same one that I used in the teen's bedroom. And I also decided to place down a wardrobe. Now, because I had so much space, I know that we already have a wardrobe and a chest of drawers in this room, but I had so much space. So I decided I wanted to have also kind of a walk-in closet. So I did that by using the Dream Home Decorator modular pieces, and then I placed down the clothes, and that's pretty much it basically, because I don't know, basically I was like, there's so much space in this room, what else can I do? So I had a little nook and I was like, this is perfect for a kind of a walk-in closet. And to do that, I also used the basically windows from Island Living that I also used downstairs, because to me those windows look like a closet door for some reason. So I decided to use them as a closet door because I didn't want to use again the closet from Get Together that I used downstairs. I feel like this is too easy, you know, to have a closet which is already done. I wanted to make my own closet, so I decided to do that in this room. And then which is kind of, I think, realistic, because you would probably have like a walk-in closet if you had that nook as well. And then also the windows match the door, because that door is the door to the balcony, and basically the balcony is the best, I think, place where you could be in this house, because it's got like a beautiful view of the entire place and of the ocean. But there's one thing that I forgot to mention that I just remembered right now. So the thing that I was thinking is that, I don't know if you could see in the beginning of the video, I was placing down the roof pieces from the new expansion pack. So I'm referring to that roof piece that you kind of place on top of the roof. And I wanted to mention this since the beginning, but I completely forgot. So to place those pieces down on the roof, it took me so long. I think like 15 minutes in real life. And then I was like, I don't know if I wanna post this, or if I want to like include this entire footage of me trying to figure out how to make those pieces work on the roof. I used the tool mod. I tried everything to make them work. I didn't like how they looked, and I was like, is there something wrong with me? Am I the problem? Why I can't make them work? And then I figured out how to make them work. I also used the tool mod to kind of size them down a little bit, and then I was like, it took me 15 minutes. I don't know if I want to show this. And then I was like, okay, do you know what? I'm going to delete all the pieces, and then I'm going to place them down again. So that's what I did. And that's why the entire process in this video took me like probably 5 seconds, because I already knew what I had to do, basically, because I did that off screen and then I deleted everything and did it again. Yeah, anyway, as you can see, I'm now furnishing the ensuite bathroom, and I love this bathroom because, first of all, the color scheme in this bathroom is just chef kiss. I love green in The Sims. There's this obsession with green for me. I don't know what it is, but every single swatch that's got green, I have to use it. So of course I decided to go for the green shower, the green wallpaper, the basically that cabinet which has got a green towel, but I really like the way it looks, and it's got a lot of light coming in as well, even though those windows are kind of closed, but there's still a lot of light coming in. And I decided to go for the tub from Spa Day, and I decided to not use the sink from the new pack, but I'm gonna use it downstairs. So as you can see, I've now moved on and I'm furnishing the balcony, and that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please leave me a like and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'm gonna see you in my next speed build video. Bye!